This is Proverbs chapter 27, verse 17. Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same Spirit, teaching His word and believing in His word. Lord willing, as a whole, y'all continue in sound doctrine and in the same Spirit. Shalom to the Akwath that are believers in His faith and His truth. Lord willing, that you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, the Most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. You know, this is inspired by a beautiful conversation me and the brothers had after camp. And, you know, and of course, this is a classic scripture, a basic scripture on, you know, when you come in this truth, regardless of how long you've been in this thing, especially if you've been in here for some time, you know, sharpening your brothers up so that their sword is sharp enough to be able to teach this word, to be able to defend the gospel, and to be able to correct, you know, another that could be teaching something wrong or moving in a certain way. So Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. So again, just like iron blades get sharper when rubbed together, men of understanding sharpen each other through counsel and correction. Proverbs 27 verse 9, it says, ointment and perfume rejoice in the heart. So doeth the sweetness of a man's friend by hearty counsel. In the NLT, a heartful counsel of a friend is as sweet as perfume and incense, right? And how do we have counsel with one another, right? With the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, even more the things that you learn in the scriptures, we're able to deal with certain situations or give feedback on certain situations. So another point, a true brother sharpens you by telling you the truth, even when it cuts. This is what this whole ministry is about, for us to teach the truth, regardless of how you feel or your emotions or your opinions, right? So Proverbs 27, verse 5 and 6. Open rebuke is better than secret love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful, right? So open rebuke is better than secret love. We don't want to love in secret, because how are you going to show somebody you really love them if they going off and you just allowing it to go, right? It's real, it's secret love, but real love is when we're correcting and trying to make sure men and women eyes are single on the task at hand, right? So sharpeneth the countenance, which is in Proverbs, the 27th chapter, verse 17, of his friend, is uplifting and encouraging and strengthening another brother's spirit. We're supposed to encourage one another, right? This is what a lot of these lessons do, right? Which is a lot of exhortations, encourage brothers to continue on. Oh, brother, that was a great lesson. Oh man, hey, brother might be doing one lesson. Then you might encourage him to, hey, yo, brother, keep it going, keep that fire going, because it's well needed for the sheep. This is 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, in verse 11. And this is what it reads. It says, wherefore comfort yourselves together, edify one another, even as also ye do. Edify means to build, right? And we comfort one another when we build men to be better men, women to be better women, wives, sisters, right? So the role of that fellowship is just as iron alone won't sharpen, but a brother cannot grow strong in the truth alone. Fellowship in the spirit keeps men sharp. Now, I think it is a verse, I can quote it, but I don't want to butcher it. It's in my head right now. Let me see if I can find it. Lord willing, I can. I believe it is in the 3rd chapter. So, let me see if I can find it. You know what? We'll look it up real quick. If is to I think it is Ecclesiastes, the 4th chapter, in verse 11. And this is what it reads. I'll start at verse 9. It says, two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he have not another to help him up. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? If one prevail against him, two shall withstand him, and a thirdfold cord is not quickly broken. Right? So two is better than one. Hey, three is better than two. Right? We want to be sharp to the best of our ability, because the Lord set us up to do his business, to do his will on the earth by teaching his word. I mean, if you have the ability, right? Let's go to Hebrews, the 10th chapter. So Hebrews chapter 10, verse 24 to 25, it says, and let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together, right? Not abandoning the assembly of us coming together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, encouraging one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching, right? When we go to 2nd Esdras 9, you're measuring out the times, right? You're looking and lining up the prophecies, right? Or you're measuring the things that's happening on in the world, right? Because these things is going to be your sign and your wonder, like it says in Matthew 24, that the Yahushua is returning. But brothers need to be sharp, right? Maintaining their faith, because you don't want to be caught off guard when Yahushua return and your faith is real weak and you haven't maintained your faith. That's why it's very important, and it's beautiful how the Lord put that in the scriptures to sharpen one another, right? So a balance of wisdom, iron on iron, can create sparks, right? Which, if you watch somebody sharpen a sword with the will, it's sparks that come off, meaning discussions, debates, or sharp words may arise, but those sparks are part of growth if done in righteousness, right? So let's go to, I got one in Sirach too about the elders. Let me see if I can find that. I think it is Sirach, the 6th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. Or is that the 4th? I think this is the one. Is this the one we want? I'll just read this one. This is Sirach chapter 6 in verse 32. My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught, and if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding, and if thou bow thy ear, thou shalt be wise. Stand in the multitude of the elders, and cleave unto him that is wise. Be willing to hear every godly discourse, which is like a debate or a discussion. And let not the parables of understanding escape thee, right? So we want to be around men that are having discourse, having discussions, right? Having debates, or sharpening one another when it comes to the breakdown or the understanding of the Lord. Again, Sirach, Ecclesiastes 6 and 7. If thou would get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him, right? And what brothers do, especially with me and the brothers we labor with, before we just let anybody just come on the line or labor or be around us, we approve him off of his consistency. Let alone what name is he coming in? Is it Yahweh, Yahushai? Is he willing to learn? Is he taking correction? Or are we examining how this man move outside of teaching his word? How is his life, right? His anger, such and such, before we credit, oh man, this is a strong man right here. Oh man, this man doing all of this, right? And then next thing you know, he become a bug out or he prideful, right? Always want to approve a friend before we credit them, right? And Yahushua is the example, right? Yahushua sharpened his disciples through teaching and correction and trials, preparing them for the ministry, right? Because when you look at Yahushua rebuked Peter, because he said multiple times when Peter was telling Yahushua, when Yahushua was speaking about being crucified, he was saying, no, that's not going to happen, basically in simple terms. And Yahushua rebuked Peter, right? Then you have points where Yahushua even told Peter that Satan wants to sift you out, but I prayed for you, right? So let's get Luke, the 22nd chapter, verse 32, right? And even with Yahushua teaching and correcting through trials, he did it to Peter. He did it to Paul, right? He blinded Paul, then he corrected him and brought him in the right understanding. And when I think it's Galatians, the first chapter, Paul shows and tells that he learned from Yahushua, right? But this is Luke chapter 22, verse 32. And this is what it reads. I'll say that verse 31. It says, and the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan have desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. And what I just quoted, but I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. And Satan tried to sift him out, especially when he denied Yahushua. But now that he converted, changed his ways, and came back to the Lord, Yahushua said, strengthen thy brethren. We strengthen our brethren by us sharpening their sword, keeping them or feeding their mind to be circumspect, to be cautious. Iron sharpen iron, but rotten company corrupts. Who you surround yourself with matters. And a brother in GMS Orlando was, no, not a brother from GMS, I think it was an affiliate on TikTok that was going into, the more you grow in this truth, the more you start to realize the people of the world is not somebody you want to entertain yourself with, because eventually those demons that they dealing with will try testing you, and the more, I don't know about everybody else, but some of us, the more we grow in this thing, the more you're not connected to people that's of this world, right? Especially friends, homies. If they not showing any fruit or any likening to the truth, it's not even an interest, because really when we come around people, we try to shine our light. And, I have an example where, this past weekend and other weekends I could have been with, people that see me before I got in this truth that I've been around, be connected and be around them. But I chose rather to be around the brothers I labor with, because I didn't feel no interest being around them, and sometimes the more knowledge you grow, the more through the spirit your discomfort is, But let's get 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Verse 33. And this is what it reads. Be not deceived, evil communication corrupts good manners. Right? Let's even read that in the NLT if we can. And this is what it reads. It says, don't be fooled by those who say such things, for bad company corrupts good character, right? And it can corrupt, especially if you're weak, if you're not solid in this thing, let alone if you're not circumspect. We should be cautious when we're around some of these men or women, right? Because you want to protect that fire that's within you, the light. Because let alone things that's of the flesh, it could probably tempt you to do things that's not of the spirit, and this is why the Lord gave us many examples, right? So another point, in the times of adversity, only sharpened men built up in the spirit and word will endure. Brotherhood in the truth helps maintain that sharpness. That even goes with Ecclesiastes 4:12, the last part of the verse, where it said a threefold cord is not quickly broken. And I believe it's going to be worded a little different in the NLT. So let me check it out. It's Ecclesiastes 4:12. It says, a person standing alone can be attacked and defeated. That's why it's not even beautiful to be coming as truth by yourself. But two can stand back to back and conquer. Three are even better, for the triple braided cord is not easily broken, right? And a little example, of course, me and the brothers had multiple brothers in the camp, and it was broken. We didn't have order. We all wasn't teaching the same thing. We all watching different teachers that's not of the same sound doctrine, or really pushing sound doctrine, 100% truth. It was broken. But now the Lord have put us to few, which is like really 6 of us, 5 or 4, right? And the Lord allowed us to be solid, like we're unbreakable. Let alone we even line up with GMS of Buffalo, Niagara Falls, under Zion. We under the same doctrine. We're under him, under the apostle Tahara on down. But he's the head of GMS in Buffalo and the Falls. So, we'll do unity camp with them. We wouldn't be able to do unity camp if we wasn't in the same understanding, right? The same sound doctrine. But it's not going to be broken because you have everybody on your side, front, back, side to side, that's willing to sharpen you or to make you strong or to have you be withstandable, right? So it's very important to have brethren that is around you that can sharpen you, right? So again, a point with Proverbs 27:17, which teaches brotherhood builds strength, not isolation. It teaches correction and sharpening. It teaches true friends uplift. It teaches not to flatter. It teaches fellowship is necessary to stay sharp in the spirit, right? So any brother that got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brothers or even more, where you can become sharp. You can be, I always say motivated, but encouraged through the spirit, right? To continue to go, to continue to do the work of the Lord, right? To continue to perfect yourself, right? So, Lord willing, this was edifying and straight to the point. I want to give all praises, glory, and magnify Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem HaKakodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit, and a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered 4 corners of the earth, teaching his word and believing his word. Shalom to the Akwath, believers in his faith and his truth, in the same spirit and sound doctrine. Lord willing, y'all continue, and Lord willing, the Most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. With that, Abba Babal, Shalom, Shalom.